Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Happy Easter to everybody, and I hope you're having a great day. Let me say to all the people in Sri Lanka who woke up this morning, or I guess it wasn't morning, but on this Easter that were bombed. And at the moment, there's over 250 people that have been killed and over 500 people injured. Thoughts and prayers go out to each and every one of you guys. It's sad that the world is so full of hate that somebody would simultaneously bomb churches and hotels to kill one another. One thing I've always tried to do with this channel is just try and promote the good side. You know, there's the old saying that nice guys finish last. Well, I don't believe that. I believe that if each and every one of us just helps one person in the world, that nobody in the world will need any help. And we have to get back to people looking out for one another. You may be different than somebody else that's next to you, but it doesn't mean that you guys don't want the same things. And somehow we seem to be lost along the way. So here we sit, Sunday morning, Easter Sunday. This week is a huge, huge week for all 32 teams. And it amazes me how much can change in a year. When I woke up this morning, the two things that hit me were the bombing in Sri Lanka and a piece about Von Miller. Von Miller, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and you could look and say Von Miller's paid, Von Miller is a beast. That guy doesn't have to worry about anything. All he has to do is show up. But he said he learned from Peyton Manning that you always have to keep working on your craft. You always have to keep trying to get better. And I guarantee you, most people that are successful and stay successful, that's what they do. Understand, you might come up with a million different ideas, and almost all of them fail, but you find that one thing that works for you. But you don't find that if you're not out there working and pounding the pavement every day. And so somebody like Von Miller is constantly trying to hone that craft, to constantly get better and better and better. What does it say for the rest of us that haven't made it there? That's why I'm always trying to get more knowledge, to learn and try different things. Not everything you try is going to work, but when you find the things that do, man, it's a great feeling. So the Seattle Seahawks are trying to trade Frank Clark, and they're trying to get a number one pick, which it seems to be what Seattle always wants when they try and trade somebody. We want a number one, okay? You know, they wanted a number one for Earl Thomas, who was past his prime and a little dinged up, which was way, way too much. Frank Clark, on the other hand, premier pass rusher. And I know what a bunch of you guys are thinking. It's like, well, if they can get a number one for Frank Clark, maybe we should have thought about that with DeMarcus Lawrence. Well, the problem with DeMarcus Lawrence was DeMarcus Lawrence had the shoulder injury, which devalued him not having that surgery. Somebody who's going to give up a number one draft pick wants to make sure that guy's ready for day one. But two, I still say that DeMarcus Lawrence is still on another level than Frank Clark. But what you're seeing happen now is you're seeing how business is changing. It used to be the franchise tag was the thing that players didn't want. Players hated to get that tag. But you're seeing now how the players are kind of taking a little bit of that power back. With Russell Wilson going out there and saying, you're going to pay me, or I'm not going to take a long-term contract. I'll be happy to take that franchise tag until I can get out of here. He basically put a gun to the head of the Seattle Seahawks. You saw what Kirk Cousins did. And I'm going to say, Kirk Cousins was nobody special. Kirk Cousins, I'm sorry, great numbers and stuff with the Redskins, but Kirk Cousins always, in the end, when it came crunch time, there was always the Kurt Oh no. We've seen them happen every time we play them with the Redskins. There's always a turnover or pick somewhere that ends up screwing up that team. Yet, he got $87 million guaranteed. And that is now how players are now thinking that, you know what, I really don't like being at this team. I'd rather be a free agent. Maybe I'll go ahead and play for that franchise tag money for a year or two, get my freedom, get paid, and play where I want to play. And you're seeing this evolve where the players are getting a little bit more power. And I'm wondering if in this new collective bargaining agreement, if somehow DeMaurice Smith tries to tweak this a little bit more so that way the players do have a little bit more say in what they do. Because let's be honest with you, the way the system is set up right now, it's all for the owners. When you think that the average player has about 3 years in the NFL, yet your rookie contract has got you tied up 4 to 5 years, the average player will never get that second contract. And if you're a player like Dak Prescott, who the first 4 years you are doing everything for the team and you're not getting compensated, that's money that you lose. But back to this compensation. I love the small town feel. I love sitting out on the front porch waving to people go by and everything else. There's not a whole lot of traffic going through. That's a world that's missed a lot now. But I'm sitting here thinking, because we're on the clock with Dak Prescott. This is the final year of his rookie contract. And the Cowboys are going to have to do something. Either franchise tag him, make him play on the last year of his contract, which is $2 million right now, and then franchise tag him a couple times and then try and get a long-term deal. Or let him go, like Kirk Cousins. And we always hear that he should take a team discount. You know, he's not worth, more than $20 million or $25 million. Those other guys, well, they just got to pay too much, but that's okay. But I'm curious, because Carson Wentz is in the same boat. Carson Wentz needs to get paid as well. I'm curious if people are saying that Carson Wentz needs to take a home team discount. Or Carson Wentz, who has an injury history. Let's put that out there. One thing you can say about Dak Prescott is Dak can take a hit and keep getting up. Claiborne from Atlanta proved that. Dak has not missed time. He had his hand messed up, but still came back in the the third quarter. So as we talk about what is Dak Prescott worth and he should take a team-friendly discount and everything else, I'm curious if the same conversations are going on in Philadelphia, because, yes, they got a ring because of Carson Wentz's play during the regular season, but he couldn't drive the team home. And now they don't have a safety net of a Nick Foles. If he's getting injured each of his first 3 years, what's it going to be like if you're making a long-term deal like you're talking about, like a Russell Wilson deal, which is, let's say, 4 or 5 years, and let's say $35 million. Isn't that a conversation that should be made about Carson Wentz? Should he get a deal? Should they be worried about paying that guy? Should they say that you're not going to be able to outfit a team because of what you're going to have to pay Carson Wentz? Because I dare say the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles right now, it's a major difference. The Eagles have a lot of players that are older. They're one of the oldest teams in the NFL. They have restructured a lot of contracts, putting that money down the road. They started out the offseason in the hole. The Cowboys started out with $47 million and now gotten DeMarcus Lawrence signed to a team-friendly deal. You're going to end up being able to sign your major players on your team without having to restructure and kick it to the future. So if we're on a better financial footing with younger players, because you look at a Jalen Smith and a Van Der Esch, you say you're not going to have to worry about hopefully replacing those guys for 5 or 6 years. You're set there. You look at a DeMarcus Lawrence as a young guy who's going to be there. You look at an Amari Cooper or a Michael Gallup. Those are guys that you look and say they're going to be around 3, 4, 5 years. But do you say that with a Deshaun Jackson? Do you say that with a Lane Johnson or I'm trying to think of their left tackle, Jason Peters? Those are guys that are getting paid a lot of money that aren't going to have longevity. So you need to be able to have money to get other players. So I say it's actually a worse position for the Eagles to pay Carson Wentz than it is for the Cowboys paying Dak Prescott. But I don't hear anybody out there saying that Carson Wentz needs to take a team-friendly deal with his injury history. Or am I wrong? Am I just only hearing Dallas Cowboys news? I'm going to talk to my buddy Philly 500 and ask him about that whole thing too, as we see what transpires between now and the beginning of the season with Dak Prescott. But as always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Blue Sports Report. Stay hungry and keep on scratching, clawing to get better each and every day. And if you do just a little bit every day through the course of time, I guarantee you're going to be a lot better. Happy Easter, and I'll see you soon.